Which one should we do now?
I kind of... Chapter 8?
Let's
got
do,
to 8?
Okay, chapter 8.
We got to 8.
Alcohol.
All right. Antiseptics, humectants, and cauterants. We're on chapter 8. Hopefully you're there with us.
That's a mouthful of words. Really,
It is.
We're talking about alcohols.
And it's kind of weird because alcohols are also humectants. I guess we'll get there.
They can be. Yep.
We'll get there. The first thing I want to do is talk about naming these things.
Okay.
It's not that hard. It's kind of easy. It's a recognition thing. Do you have your pen? Do you have a pen? Pen guy.
Pen guy.
Okay. So here's the thing. I'm just going to keep it really simple. So you can recognize these if you're taking the national board and you have asked a question, is this an alcohol? Is it what you're looking for is if I take methane, and I'm left-handed and I can't see what I'm writing. If I take methane, which is written like this, take methane, you notice the suffix is ane, right? And it becomes an alcohol. If I somehow make an alcohol out of this, it will read methanol, and you see OL.
Shouldn't we draw the structure too? I mean, right?
Yeah,
I just, as a chemist, I got to see that.
You got to see it.
I got to see it, right? That's methane, and this is...
Right. And what's
methanol.
This group, Paul? What is that group?
That's the alcohol group right there.
That's a hydroxyl group.
The hydroxyl
right?
group.
Now,
yeah.
what's interesting is, and I think we'll just kind of get into some of the chemistry of it. If you have a single hydroxyl group, what will it do to tissue? It tends to dehydrate tissue, right? So
Yeah.
it will sanitize. It becomes an antiseptic. And this is when you use your hand sanitizer when you're walking through the airport or wherever. Maybe you have one attached to your handbag or whatever. Use hand sanitizer. There's alcohol in there. It helps kill bacteria because it dehydrates the bacteria. It puts them in an environment they don't dig. They're like, oh no,
Right.
I'm dehydrating and dying. It's not cool. Now, what happens if you have multiple hydroxyl groups on a compound?
They become more, I'm not sure. What do they become?
Okay, hang on. So, Robert, what happens if you have more than one hydroxyl group on a compound? It helps retain the water. It helps become a humectant. And that's how you move moisture into tissue, right? You use a humectant. So maybe draw glycerol. Can you draw glycerol? How many carbons does glycerol have?
I'm
3.
okay.
Okay, we're kind of hanging
Yeah,
up.
we're kind of hanging
up here.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Is that glycerol? No.
it is. Okay, and so what's interesting about glycerol, it doesn't dehydrate tissue because what it does is it traps water in here like this. Right? Through hydrogen bonding. And if you need more information on hydrogen bonding, watch our video on chapter 5. And that carries moisture into the tissue and helps tissues retain moisture. And that's how alcohols can act as a disinfectant and as a humectant.
Yeah, we should draw the hydrogen bonding, all right?
Oh yeah, definitely draw the hydrogen bonding. So what's key here is a monohydroxy alcohol dehydrates. Polyhydroxy alcohols will tend to retain moisture, and they can add moisture. I'm really quickly, the last thing I want to talk about, like, how much time, are we good on time on the film? Okay, the last thing, I'm going to erase this, so freeze and take a snapshot or screenshot for that. All right, Robert, I think the last thing in the chapter we need to talk about is phenol. It's important, like, let's draw it. So, Robert, what's the other name for phenol? There's 2 names. This is really important, right?
Benzyl alcohol.
Okay, I think there's one more name for it. It's carbolic acid.
Okay,
yeah.
Carbolic acid too, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so carbolic acid. So now, phenol is used throughout funeral service because it's a cauterant. So it is an alcohol. It has the hydroxyl group. It's a cauterant, and it's also used for bleaching. And that's a really important property because a lot of times you want to bleach something like an ecchymosis or a hemorrhage or something of that nature. People will apply phenol. So how does it bleach?
Well, we talked about acids previously, and essentially phenol has the capability to lose a proton. It's got which is too technical for this discussion, but it does have a ability to lose a proton, and it has an acidic character. And it's that acidic character that allows it to be a cauterant.
Okay, I'm going to reiterate what you said. So by proton, you mean a hydrogen molecule. Okay, so what happens is we have this hydroxyl group here. It splits. And we have an oxygen and a free hydrogen. And that free hydrogen, as we talked about in chapter 6, with the postmortem pH shift, that free hydrogen is acidic. So phenol, or as you said, what? Phenol?
Yeah, or benzyl alcohol. There's
Or
a few
carbolic acid.
Carbolic acid.
Carbolic
There's
acid.
a few names
It
for it.
becomes acidic, and that bleaches out tissue. That's how phenol bleaches tissue.
Well said. Well
Cool.
said. Mhm.
All right, chapter 8 in the books.
I think we did it. Yeah.
All right. If you have any questions, if we covered anything too quickly, just remember any word that has an OL at the end of it, like the word alcohol, OL, is an alcohol. If there's a single hydroxyl group, it will desiccate or dehydrate tissue. If there's multiple hydroxyl groups, it's used as a humectant in funeral service. And phenol bleaches because it becomes acidic. If you have any other questions, write them in the comment section.
Yes. Comment. Ask us. We'll get back to you.
All right. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe so we can keep these things going.